you'd lease it and you'd run it yourself.
Correct. We replace the equipment with new because I have a good relationship with my distributors.
What do I do with the equipment then? Do whatever I want to with it?
Whatever you want to.
You don't want the old equipment.
The most value you have, David, with that equipment is trying to sell it in place, i.e. selling a laundromat, right? And short of that, as soon as you pull it out, it's fairly worthless. You can give it to the scrap man, you can do what you want.
Hello.
Hello, David.
Yes.
David, my name is Danny. I got your telephone number from your brother Ruben. I'm interested in leasing some space from you.
What about it?
The laundromat space, sir. I'm interested in leasing that from you long term, giving you a rent check and putting some new equipment in the location. Do you run the business or you just own the building?
I run it. I'd like to sell everything if you wanted to.
Okay. So you're the right entity, and that was my understanding. Let me explain. I've been running coin laundries for 20 years. I have several stores, and my partner Tyler and I, we do exactly this. We go out and physically scout these locations, and we see stores that, to put it very bluntly, could use that retool, but yet the operator, i.e. you, is not spending the money. I want to reach out and see if maybe a lease makes more sense.
You're lucky we've been watching your ass, Lester.
If you go on the record, Mr. Collins, we'll give you protection. If not.
They're gonna kill you anyway.
And, frankly, I'm going to lease that long term from you, give you a rent check every month, and operate the store. I'm not a salesman, sir. I'm not looking to flip or sell the laundromat at any point.
You'd lease it and you'd run it yourself.
Correct. Yes, sir.
I'd listen to what you have to say. I would listen to what you have to say.
Yeah. Well, what I have to say is, I don't know what that tipping point is. If for instance, if you're making $10,000 a month and you're spending an hour a week in the laundromat, you should tell me to go fly a kite and keep doing.
I'm not making that much, but I usually brings in 4 or 5 a month.
Yeah. Well, that's your business. It's all about time versus money, time in the store. Personally, there's no golden BB here. We replace the equipment with new because I have a good relationship with my distributors, and we're leasing.
What do I do with the old?
You know what, Anderson? You're starting to get so far up my nose, I'm beginning to feel your boots on my chin.
What do I do with the equipment then? Do whatever I want to with it?
Whatever you want to.
Mm-hmm. You don't want the old equipment.
Well, let's face it. It's a good question, but the most value you have, David, with that equipment is trying to sell it in place, i.e. selling a laundromat, right? And short of that, as soon as you pull it out, it's fairly worthless. You can give it to the scrap man, you can do what you want. But what I'm offering here, I want to be clear, is hundreds of thousands of dollars in the form of future rent. You did the thing, you ran the laundromat, and now if it's time to move on, I want what is reasonable rent. And to be clear, I'm not looking to rent it for more than what a reasonable rate would be for empty space. I'm looking to rent it for probably less than what is market rate because I have to spend the money on equipment. You know that. You've had the distributors come in left, right, and center and beg you to buy equipment. You know what the tab is. I know that you know that. Being an operator.
My equipment has not caused me a whole lot of problems. It has not. It's like 7 years old, maybe, or 8, and it's running pretty good. Some of the dryers are like 3 or 4 years old.
Right.
3 years old, probably. So it's not old equipment.
No, maybe now is not the time. Perhaps it needs to.
But if you want to drive up to that laundromat and take a look at it and tell me what you think.
I've been there.
I listen.
More than once.
You've been there.
Absolutely. Okay. So today.
Well, what do you give me for rent? What do you give me for rent?
As little as possible. I can't tell you what you want to collect. I don't know if you own the building. I don't know if you own if you have a hefty mortgage.
I own the building.
I'm not asking.
Just read the file, Mr. Anderson. I can do without the cabaret.
You don't like me much, do you, boss?
Sure, I like you. I just don't share your sense of humor.
I own the building, and it's time to do something with a proper roof on it. Probably the main thing we have to do.
Yeah. Well,
the roof ain't leaking that bad. It's not leaking now, but it's the point where it's about got to have a roof on it.
It's part of being a landlord. Whether it's you that remains in there or you have a tenant in there, you can't have a sieve overhead. So you tell me, what is a reasonable rate of rent on a 15-year term?
I rent another building over there. It's smaller than that. I get $8 a month out of it. I don't know. Let me think about that a little bit before I tell you. Okay? I want to think about it. What number can I reach yet?
Are you looking at the caller ID?
All it says is lease. Really lease. Yeah, there it is. It shows up. Yeah,
that's my cell phone number, David. That's the only number you need. My name is Danny D'Angelo.
Where are you from?
I live in Canton.
Where do you say your name is? Dan, okay. Where do you say your name is?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, let me, what is your name, you said?
Danny.
Danny. Angelo?
Danny D'Angelo. We have a horrible phone connection. Danny D'Angelo. Okay. Do you do the email? Do you have an email?
Yeah.
What's your email address?
David. Yeah, let me think about this a little bit, okay?
Yeah,
I'll get back to you.
David RG. Is that what you said? Yeah, well, piece of shit hung up. If you think for an instant that a New York Italian that owns property is any different than a guy behind a buggy whip in Canton, Ohio, you're fucking wrong. The more I do this, the more I can tell you that that's correct. Yeah, all right, let you know. I'll get back to you. Cloop, he hangs up. He fucked up because he said it's making $5,000 a month at some point. It ain't making, he said, oh, it's making $4 or $5 a month. What, 500? He also said he rents another spot for $8. I think he's talking about fucking $800.
I'm pretty sure that's what he means.
Try to track down his email address. We'll call him back in 30 days.
All right, sounds good.
Goodbye.
I'm pretty sure this hot water heater's got a few more good years left in it.